All right.
Yeah. You uncovered something interesting, but it is bound up in a peril or reveals an ominous aspect of this place.
What was that about, though? That was that was Explore Waypoint. On a week hit,
Well,
you
so I
uncover
mean, the whole
some
thing is that we need to jump out of this ice planet black hole place and back to the Sea of Scars. That's what,
accurate. Yep.
um, yep, that's what the parasite thing wanted, right?
Sure.
And so we did that, and the goal was that we were supposed to get over there and then do stuff. And so then you rolled Explore Waypoint, which is, I think, for our actual journey, right?
Yeah,
That was
it
the
was a week hit. You uncover something interesting. It's found up in apparel. Take plus momentum. Does nothing.
right. So then, yeah, so I did undertake
You
an
know what?
expedition, and I got a strong hit. So we got to where I had aimed for, but then you did Explore Waypoint, and so we got there, I think, and that's when it was
It
just a
was
week
after
hit.
we got there and I was exploring the waypoint. I was basically like putting my sensors and feelers out on. I want to look at something. Is it worth it to burn the momentum just to make progress on like moving along? I'm not sure if the answer is yes. Could do it. It would advance the get to Cobalt reach by a tick. I'm just wondering what I could have gotten from exploring the waypoint that would advance it, and it may be worth it to have the 10 momentum waiting around for another move. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
The one momentum doesn't do anything, and I was looking at it going, man, it would be realized it would be really, if it was matching numbers, I wouldn't even think about it. If the two dice that were against it were matching numbers, I could force a discovery too, like some sort of
Right.
psychic discovery. Forget about it. I would do it in a heartbeat.
Right. But just to get the strong hit's not going to buy anything, from
Yeah,
my hearing.
but the thing is, if it was a match, I would either already have the match or I would be failing with the match, in which case it would definitely. Okay, in any case, so what was I going to
Right.
ask?
You were wandering around the ship, back and forth,
Yeah.
having psychic thoughts about what was here in the Sea of Scars, about where we needed to go. Because I basically did the expedition, got a strong hit, and then decipher precursor progress advanced, see the symbiote through the Sea of Scars progress advanced, and then I had a vow that was see the symbiote through, and I got a weak hit on that vow.
That still moves things
Oh
along.
no, that's your vow. Sorry,
Yeah. I think my
you did the
thing,
vow.
yeah, I think what I was looking, I think what I'm pondering here is like something about, I was like watching how the, not calling it the veil.
The balefire.
Yeah, the balefire is interacting with these scars. And I'm thinking to myself, like, why, if these things are maybe a barrier, protective, a wall, maybe they're a cage for us. We've been thinking of them as a cage for us that don't let us, because the balefire doesn't let us out of the system. But if they're actually protective for us, in any of this, why is the embers, the circle of embers, why are they so gung ho to be a part of all of the different ships that were sent out to explore the balefire barrier coming down? Because ours is the only ship that they weren't part of. Why were they so gung ho about it? And are they gung ho because they really want to see it happen?
Or that they want
Or
to
are they
sabotage it
really,
happening.
or they want to sabotage it across the board? Or and then there's a furthermore. If they want to see it happen, do they want to see it happen because they think it's good for us, or they want to see it happen because Cthulhu awakens? You
Right.
know, they want it to come down because yes, it actually is a protective ward for us, and screw all those things. And I guess this is what I want. So this is me thinking out loud about something that we should probably be tearing down like in play. So
Right. And I also had that thing last time that it may be that the influence of the precursors in our systems has been slowly changing us from the precursor artifacts and the be more like the precursors in some way. Hence why
yeah.
Cole has the powers she does.
Yeah. So, my question I have for you, and I don't know the answer for it. This is not a Socratic questioning. I'm not doing some sort of nonsense where I already feel like I know the answer, and I'm just trying to get you all to agree with me. I legitimately do not know the answer to this question, but I do feel as though it's a question that needs some thought. That question is why? Why did the Circle of Embers want so very badly to be involved in every single one of the exploratory ships that were being sent out now that the balefire has dropped? We can theoretically escape this sector to meet our brothers and sisters the next sector over. Are they, because we're beginning to understand that the balefire may be beneficial in some ways. Cole, I know I imagine that you can feel as I can the pressing weight of ill regard from that being on the other side of the scars in this sea that we sail through right now. That great eye that currently looks past us. And certainly the balefire obscures that as I feel it wave through in bits and pieces, in strips and wisps through the area. I feel that regard be obscured. And I am grateful in those moments for the balefire that we have cursed our entire lives and for generations. Is this a cage this thing is built for us, or are there protective walls? And if they're walls, if it's a cage, I can understand the circle of embers wanting to bring it down. If it is a protective wall and they are so eager to do so, then I have to ask why. That question worries me. Do they want to bring it down? And do they want to do it for our good, or do they want to bring it down for the benefit of something like that great eye or some other faction that we are not aware of? It would be lovely to say everyone is performing in exactly the way that they seem to be for exactly the reasons and motives that they would seem to be. The Circle of Embers has protected us and husbanded our progression as a small group of people throughout this sector for generations, and have literally had their hands on each generation, manage the people that we have in our communities. So of course this is for our benefit, even if it is possibly dangerous. They're assuming that it is for our good, and that's why they're doing it. Or they're trying to sabotage it, also for our good.
Well, all I know is they were really concerned with the future. Everything that I kept hearing, and that's why they were so obsessed with the abilities that I had to glimpse the future, such as it is that they were just obsessed with the future. And I don't know if they had some sort of prophecy from someone else. I never heard reference to a specific prophecy, but I know that the heads of the organization were extremely concerned with quote unquote the future.
I can't imagine. I'm sure a conspiracy theorist could sit there, some probably have, and sat there and said that can imagine a situation where they have husbanded all the generations of our communities forward to make sure that there is a sufficient smorgasbord for whatever unbelievable entities might come through and scoop us all up like some sort of buffet. But that disagrees with it. Seems too complicated. And if I were some great powerful entity, I don't need to be kept and fed like livestock. I can't imagine that they're in cahoots with some being from beyond. But that does not mean they're necessarily working to our best interest or seek the
sharing
same
all
thing.
the information that they have.
Well, I hardly am. As much as I might think that they are not trying to take us all down in some sort of great sacrifice to a horrible entity, I also don't think that they have ever in their history told anyone everything that they know. Obsessed with the future, we'll assume not immediately attempting to feed all of humanity to some creature from the great beyond, because honestly, if that were the case, it's a greater problem than I feel like taking on. So we'll assume at least that much. Certainly have not shared everything that they might share.
Well, my question is the creature that we glimpsed through the scars here, is it between us and Cobalt Reach? Has it already eaten Cobalt Reach? Is there anything left, or is it in some other part of the universe or another dimension or something? Or
I wonder.
because if we suddenly break through the balefire as we've been trying to do, and we're on our choo-choo train to Cobalt Reach, and all we've done is throw ourselves into that creature's inner bell, I don't know if that's going to be very helpful.
I am not generally given to philosophical ruminations or metaphysical, for that matter. But let us suppose a few things. One, that the balefire is actually in some way inhibiting this creature.
Mm-hmm. It seems likely.
It exists in another dimension entirely, whatever dimension it is that we sail through when we take an eidolon drift from one point to another. And yet the balefire affects it. Not just to come here, but it also appears to be, I say it as though it were singular, but it may not be.
Yeah.
It also affects it. But if I were a hunting creature that required sustenance, and I found a pen of creatures would provide that sustenance, but I was utterly unable to reach them for generations, I'd probably move on, had I the means to do so. Fence does not contain me. I can simply leave, look for greener pastures, and therefore am not looking in through the windows as we have seen. However, this creature is. I can only assume from that it is likewise contained in some way on its side to our environment. Therefore, we are not only trapped where we are, it is also trapped. We have seen that some folks have been able to slip through, but we are tiny creatures, insubstantial, inconsequential compared to the vastness of these things that we've sensed on the other side. So perhaps we're able to go in through the holes in the chain link to a degree that they're not. Not without harm,
So
certainly.
you think it's just a prisoner in an adjacent cell, and not necessarily the jailer standing outside the prison?
I believe that is the case, yes. We've been trapped here. So, okay, lore thing. Was the balefire here when we got here?
There was balefire here when we got here, but it was not either as big or as pervasive until, like, basically an event happened that cut us off from Cobalt Reach, when the balefire essentially significantly increased in size, potency, coverage.
And that was it was certainly several, it was long enough
multiple
ago.
generations ago.
Yeah, multiple generations ago.
I've been thinking that the balefire is some remnant of war between various precursor civilizations, right?
Yeah, and I'm entirely on board with that. Like radiate background. What?
Because we know that the precursor, there was multiple factions. They did not get along. There was multiple wars of various kinds, and there was some level of extinction event for all of the precursors.
Yeah, possibly multiple extinction events in different places. We're very meta versus not meta in this conversation, and that's fine. Do we want to know at a meta level whether this was an intentional thing, or like a nuclear winter fallout from a thing, or some mix of both? Do we want to know
I
that
think
at a
it would
meta
be
level?
interesting to see one question that I think we probably need to answer. The rest of it we can maybe stumble upon.
Yeah.
But one question is my writer directly responsible, or his people directly responsible for this? Or are they victims of it? I think that would be.
Or are they not even? Were they not even part of that particular thing? Even
right? Are they just collateral damage from a war between two other precursor civilizations?
I think it is unlikely. I think it's unlikely. Are responsible for the balefire? Well, I guess it kind of boils down to how many factions are there.
Yeah, I was thinking there was at least a half dozen major factions, although, as usual, not all of them may have been as warlike as others.
I think the chance that your precursor has something that is very closely connected to the technology of the star map, just because they both came from pearls on that world. And I have to think I think Sirocco, I think the fact that you picked in a pearl on Sirocco and then you continued to do pearl diving on Sirocco is probably not a coincidence, and probably not entirely your choice. Like, I think that there was definitely some internal nudging about, no, go back, keep digging, do another one.
No, yeah, we've got to find it or whatever, and maybe it was the map.
Yeah, or just we have to find more. You're the one with the thing, though, so what do you think the odds are that this has anything to do with it?
No, I agree. The symbiote's very highly connected to the map. I think it's more likely that the symbiote's civilization was a victim of, of whatever war this was that caused the balefire and kind of this sundering to happen.
It's more likely it's more likely that they're a victim?
A victim of it, right? Like a bystander.
Okay, so
but
I think
they had maybe sort of like created a vault or something to protect themselves from literal fallout of what was going to happen, and
so
that
more
vault
likely
is
that they're a victim, so unlikely that they're the cause. Okay. Shall we roll? You want to roll?
Yeah, let's roll.
So it's under moves, fate moves, and then you would click on the unlikely under ask the oracle. No, okay. They're not responsible for it.
Responsible does not mean not involved, but it does mean that they were not
They weren't necessarily the ones that enacted the balefire or as a result of that thing. And balefire, for all we know, balefire could just be the background count off of everything that the precursors use. I don't think that the balefire is strictly speaking. So
I very much think it's literally energy wreckage.
Yeah.
Right. energy-based wreckage.
there is a lot of precursor vault stuff.
Part of the reason that we ended up going there.
Yeah. And so the question is there just a lot of precursor vault stuff? I'm going to say there's probably a lot of precursor stuff around lots. I think we touch and fiddle with it a lot more than other places. Are we getting away with that because of the balefire? Is partly, being like sort of cordoned off a little bit and blocked off from this. We get to other places and they're like, oh no, you never touch that stuff. It's like immediate, like mutation city, like even to touch, like,
Yeah, no, like I said, there's something, and it's probably Balefire related, that is changing us to be more compatible with precursor stuff.
so it's not that it's shielding us, it's that we're becoming more
What we might call epigenetics.
So we need
Right.
to
It's not just between generations, but it also changes people during their lives.
Okay, I gotta figure out a way to get this to a diegetic. I need to get this. Wait, diegetic? Am I saying that right? When the music
Yes.
is part of the I need to get this
Yeah.
meta talk back into the actual thing because I just had a really good idea that I need Quentin to have instead of me.
Right.
Okay. So we assume that at least the Circle of Embers believes that they're doing what's best for our community. We're going to assume that for the sake of argument. We've been here, and they have shaped us generation upon generation. The only real counter to that, largely speaking, being the Ironborn themselves, who have remained largely the same organization for the same generations to protect, serve the community, but still made up of the same people that they themselves, that the circle themselves have been steering. If that's the case, then
what about their obsession with the future? I mean, you said that they were trying to look out for our best case, but are they looking out for our best interests of the now or of some far future?
Well, I think they're steering us in a direction that they believe is going to be the most beneficial. Maybe they believe that by generation by generation, we can survive the balefire and finally free ourselves of this area. Maybe they believe that generation by generation we're more able to deal with the difficulties of our own. We all love the Golden Oasis. Certainly, this sector is our home, but let's be realistic. This is one of the most. I mean, space never cooperates, but the Golden Oasis has taken it to a level, a somewhat unprecedented level of unpleasantness. Maybe our aggressive adoption of precursor artifacts as we discover them is something that has been aided by. Is it possible that the circle's entire intent is to create a greater capacity amongst our people to be able to cope with the strangeness of precursor artifacts?
Well, if you take under advisement the fact that they very much believed that there was never a chance that we would ever return to Cobalt Reach, then that would make sense, as the longest term way for us to survive would be to be able to make use of the precursor artifacts and civilizations that were all around us. And if we were leaving this place and going back, there's a chance that their plans could get undone, I suppose.
Certainly, I'll grant you that. Certainly true. With that said, well, I mean, I'm familiar enough with artifacts that have been incorporated into ships and whatnot, but it's not as though we've suddenly become more physically capable of having precursor technology
But no,
or
we
abilities.
have. I mean, there are all those cults that can take these artifacts and are using them as like implants. Remember the leader of that one cult got like one in their eye and everything. Like, we are far more compatible with precursor artifacts than anyone has ever.
I'm bothered by this. I will confess by the simple fact of the matter that I hold here and perhaps myself have shown a certain predilection for abilities or tendency toward abilities that one might consider uncanny.
Right.
But
the
Ironborn
existed before we came to this sector, right?
We existed before we arrived in
right.
the origins of that being during our great voyage.
So what I'm trying to say is that this is not a change of night to day, but a harnessing of something that was latent within at least some of our population already, but not necessarily under the rules of the Iron Sworn.
Your assertion is, our theory then is that the motives of the Ember Circle are to shape humanity to be able to fully grasp the tools that have been left behind by the precursor.
Yes, I believe that. A classic, take their current mission and draw a line into the future as far as you can, and I could easily see how they could get there. And Cole says, well, yeah, with their obsession with the far future and aiming for the longest outcomes, it makes a lot of sense. And like you said, Quentin, they don't have to be evil or not looking out. They just have to have a very long-term mindset, which sometimes seems very mysterious.
I'm gonna do a thing. Do you have crickets going?
I have crickets outside my window, and I have my window open.
That's amazing.
They're hardcore because they're
Yeah.
tree. Your crickets that make that sound are tree crickets, and literally the tree is directly outside my window.
That's wild. I've never heard them to the point where they're like.
Well, especially on this mic, I'd be surprised that you'd hear them. But yeah,
they're really
hardcore.
To the point where I was like thinking they were here because I have an open like thing. I'm like, am I hearing them? Where am I hearing them? All right, I'm gonna do gather information, but I'm gonna do the advanced option. I'm gonna do what am I doing? Roll.
The best part is those tree crickets. There's a direct correlation between the speed of their chirping and the outside temperature, so you can like literally measure it within a degree with the lookup chart.
That's wild. Okay, so I'm gonna roll gather information, but I'm rolling it with 3 challenge dice. Choose 2 unless they match. If they match, I have to choose those values. Oh, they don't match. Ooh. Oh, I am definitely taking the 3 and the 2. Okay, I want to take the 3. Envision what you learn. Take +1, which I don't need. Okay. So this is me. I'm working on this progress thing for discover the Ember Circle's motive. So our theory here is that the Ember Circle has been steering humanity to be able to more readily work with precursor tech.
Right.
I think someone like Cole or myself are sort of side effects of that somewhat in that, humanity is being modified. I don't know that there's anything directly with precursor tech that like we can point at and say, this is because you have this thing that you carry around or anything like that. But in any case, humanity has been evolved. So we've been affected by precursor
Sure,
stuff.
but they're taking the strain. I think the key is they're taking the strain of people that were the
Already,
Ironsworn, and they're basically using that plus precursor and Balefire to spread that out amongst everyone.
Basically, people who are already latently kooky.
Yes, exactly. Or
The kooky strand of DNA, and they have intensified the kookiness. What I'm looking for in this big conclusion thing here is what does that mean for what they're really doing with regards to the balefire going? Are they involving themselves in every one of these steps to spike the wheels, or are they involving themselves in every step so they can control? Why are they so first of all, they're too closely involved in the progression of the community that's within the Golden Oasis to not be involved in something so momentous. That's a done deal. But why
they're scared
are they doing it
that
to stop
if we end up being the Cobalt Reach, that they will discover what they have been doing. Someone will find out what they've been doing and may not. And in fact, there may be negative consequences like now we can't survive in Cobalt Reach because we've been so heavily modified without even knowing it.
Or we're going to be like pariahs or something like that because they're like, you freaks, something like that.
Exactly.
In any case, they just want to be there.
Because they've been suppressing knowledge of what people were like in Cobalt Reach in our own history. So people literally don't know how different we now are. That would be very interesting.
That would be really interesting and really wild. I'm not saying no to that at all. I think that would be really wild to find out, but it would also be, if we're being made stronger, I don't think it's probably a we can't even survive over there thing. But if we are really legitimately like, maybe they don't know either. Maybe they're just like, we need to be on the front of this because we got to be able to control the message. But it's mostly about the fact
I think that's number one for sure. But I would not be surprised if they had all these records because they're, again, keeping all the records of births and deaths and everything, right? They could have records of what people from Cobalt Reach were like. that there have been questions. And I think this is, the classic sci-fi story, which is told from the, person with three eyes perspective, but they don't know they have three eyes kind of thing.
Yeah, you get through the entire short story and realize that there were bugs all along.
Yeah, exactly.
The POV character was a bug all along.
Right.
That would be weird. I feel like we would know that.
Yeah, I don't think it's that
it was a bug.
extreme,
No.
but I think it's something maybe pretty significant.
See, the thing is, we do this as a storyline thing, and then the next group that we play, we do from the point of view of somebody over in
Cobalt Reach. Yeah.
Cobalt Reach, and we have to pick the game where it's like the most mundane, like absolutely no special abilities whatsoever.
Right.
Except for the
just hotshot pilot and
these guys come through with like freaking force abilities, and they're like, holy shit, they're
yeah, exactly.
maybe. Okay, I'm gonna roll to conclude this this discover the Ember Circles motives thing, just because I'm a big selfish git. I want to see if I've nailed it down.
Let's get some experience.
When you reach the end
I
of
would
your
really like to
quest.
have some discoveries, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. That's why I was so look at that. With a match. Fulfill your vow. Discover the Ember Circle's motives. On the strong hit, your vow was fulfilled. Mark a reward on your quest legacy track. For the vow's rank, it was difficult, or dangerous rather. That's 2 ticks. I would really like some discoveries too. So what I'm thinking is, if we've got a match and it's like resolving this mystery type of thing, maybe there is a discovery here. We have let's look at the make a discovery. When your exploration of a waypoint uncovers something wondrous, roll on the table, then envision the nature of the discovery, how it's revealed. When you first experience or engage with, you and your allies may mark 2 ticks on your discovery's legacy. I'm looking at the actual table here. This is under exploration moves, make a discovery, and if you like halfway down through it, you can open up and look at make a discovery table, just to look at.
I am looking.
New understanding of an enduring mystery. Is one of the entries.
I feel like that's what just happened.
Pathway or means of travel to a distant location. Person or life form with phenomenal abilities. Place of awe-inspiring beauty. Or valuable resources. Visions or prophecies of the future.
We also could have something that has appeared on the map now that it's connected to the ship. Since I did a hit with a match when we flew, clearly my wiring was successful.
Yeah.
So probably guided by my symbiote.
In that case, you did get a hit with match on. I forgot about that. I'm gonna advance the vow of finally fix the second. Okay. New understanding of an enduring mystery, and we have a shared thing for shared sheet. I think that would advance. So here's what I think. Hover your finger over the X card.
No, here we go again.
All right. Hover your finger over this for a different reason. Different reason than last time. I'll tell you what I think. What I think is that the circle has seen, they have waited. Oh, can we have Cole do this?
Go for it.
They were waiting. No. They were waiting for the veil to drop. Oh my God, they've got fucking nursery rhymes about this. They've been waiting for the veil to drop. The veil to drop is like the flag dropping on a race. That was the signal that we were ready to go out, and they want to be on the prow of the ships to go. But that was the sign that we had gotten to the point where we were ready. They'll survive beyond that. That's what they have always believed, is that they were getting us all ready. Oh my God, it all kind of goes together. It's just that crazy. They think they've been getting us ready, and now the sign is go. And as she says that is when the map changes, and there's like basically an indication on the map of like which scar to use.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It finally goes from being sort of like, here's 5 possible ways to like the Apple Map notification of like
it does the sand table build up thing, and like this is the little arrow.
Right.
Little Bugs Bunny arrow pointing at beep, beep. No, I'm kidding. But
I like that it just becomes incredibly sharply in focus in a way that like I like your sand table idea that it's like 3D and it's coming up off the map.
Yeah.
That there was like all these different exits, and then suddenly one of them is just like perfectly sharp and crisp in a way that hadn't been before. So and I look over and I said, well, that looks like a sign.
Okay, so let's.
Can we advance my discoveries too, or?
I think, I haven't done discoveries yet, but over in Legacies, give yourself 2 ticks in discovery, what does that do for you?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how this figures for XP.
Did you do the little arrow? Yeah. Okay, so did you hit the little arrow to move it up? Okay. So you see how there's 2 boxes there underneath?
Underneath it, yeah.
Yeah, those are XP that you have not yet.
Ah, well, there's 2 boxes there, yeah. So I
Yep.
guess
So
I got 2 XP.
so you had the 2 that you have 2 from your bonds and 2 from your discoveries already, and those were used on the second ability under Gearhead and the second ability under Symbiote. Okay. And now you have 2 more, so you could get another ability under the assets you already have, or you have, you could bank it until you get another 2, and you can use. If you have 3, you can buy an entirely new asset.
Okay, yeah, I think I'll wait for a new asset at this point. But yes, got it.
Yeah. I have my legacy. Wait, I haven't because I've had 2 from bonds that I've been sitting on thanks to Cole, and I have 2 from the discoveries that I just got. So I've theoretically got enough to get, which is fine because I only have the 1 advance and you've done. Yeah, I think that there are 2 possibilities. One is that we have hit upon it, and our connection and your connection to this map that you've been attempting to suss out the nature of has shown us way forward. And if you have a mark on, I think you should mark decipher the precursor star map too, then this clearly is the direction to go. Or it's an elaborate trap laid by whatever is steering our fate, and we are about to jump straight into the maw of the Leviathan itself. Let's hope it isn't the second one. Tinker, whenever you're ready, I think we should move forward. Let's
All right. And you see me do something you've never seen before, which is I go over to the map and I put my hand on the map in that spot that is one of the scars, and I just kind of close my eyes and the ship starts moving.
I have got, because I'm wondering how clueless Quentin has been about all of this. I don't think he's entirely clueless, but this is certainly the most overt you've been about the fact that you are not all normal.
Right.
I'm going to psychically steer the ship. So this one I am recording, but I also flipped on streaming. I didn't tell anybody, but there's some people that watch. And one of the folks that's always commented on most of my games, Dingoes, hi Dingoes, just said that the crickets kind of work is just an alarm that's happening back in the engineering section that we're just ignoring while we're having this conversation. It's like, no, it's just,
Right.
that's just that's one of those. I haven't been able to find which smoke alarm that is, and I'm just ignore it. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, the ship is, been beat to heck and only mildly fixed.
Oh yeah, the fact that there should always probably be an alarm going off from this. Yeah, the exploration move should be undertake an expedition. I think because Cole did, we're giving ourselves a whole lot of boost here from this one match, but I think since Cole, this hit with a match, but since Cole was the one who gave us the revelation, get to the right word eventually. I think you roll wits with her help, so a +2. Ooh, it's a 6. I love that. You'd hit it anyway. That was as good as you can get. On a strong hit, you reach a waypoint, envision the location, mark progress per the rank of the expedition. Okay, so we are getting to the Cobalt Reach. So our chart a new route to Cobalt Reach. Get to Cobalt Reach. We say it was a couple of hours of jumping.
I went ahead and between the 2 rolls, the last hit with a match and this strong hit, I have marked 2 progress on Master of the Symbiote, which is epic. So it's a long way to go on that.
Yeah, Mastering the Symbiote takes a lot. My epic thing has got 2 marks.
Yeah.
For decipher the precursor star map. Wow, see the symbiote through the sea of stars. Well, I think you can mark progress on see the symbiote through the sea of stars, certainly. So here's where we are right now. We have chart the new route to Cobalt Reach is at 10 out of 10. We have progress on get to Cobalt Reach up to 8 of 10. Mm-hmm. This is the second time we've had it at 8 of 10.
Last time we ended up having to get thrown back across the galaxy.
We did it the hard way last time. So let's do a little bit of oracling for where we came through. So space encounter. You're in the Outlands. Large rogue asteroid. Hang on for a second. I'm curious about this. Okay. I think this is where we roll to see whether or not we made it to the other side. Whether we roll to conclude those 2. And if we fail,
like the right time.
If we fail, because I just rolled Tainted World stuff.
Sludge-filled river networks.
Well, that would be, some of this we would ignore. But some of the initial entries, we could say, if we fail, what the map sent us to was Capella.
Ooh,
Like we thought we were jumping through, and we ended, and the whole thing just routed us to Capella.
sure.
If we make it, then we read the whole bloody thing out, and we're actually on a planet over.
Right. Now, because my thought is that the symbiote really wants to go to a place where it thinks its people might have holed up and
Well,
had
there is a that works either way, because there is a precursor thing on Capella. Remember, because it's got
right,
that weird resonance thing that goes back and forth.
right.
That
So it
hums
could
whenever.
be, yeah, either way. We'll find out, I guess.
Either way, do you
But
want to roll
its
for
goal is
this?
definitely to try to find the remains of its people.
Yeah. Do you want to roll for the get to Cobalt Reach thing, or should
Yes.
you want me to click on it? All right, you go. That's in the shared sheet. Get to Cobalt Reach. There's no bonuses. It's just we roll 2d10 and see if we can beat if we roll under the 8.
And we don't want to wait anymore. Okay.
I
Here we
mean,
go.
I think we go.
Oops, wrong button.
Roll the dice. I'm terrified.
Hey, that
Fuck.
looks good.
Double 4s.
Yeah.
Love that.
Of course, the 3D dice hung on 9 for quite a while there, so that was a little bit spicy, but
It was a little bit scary. Okay, so this is good actually. So this is hang on.
So I believe we have crossed the boundary of the balefire outside of our sector, and we are somewhere on the other side towards Cobalt Reach. But
Incidentally, plowing into the trail today and nearly cracking my ribs. This maneuver, enthusiastic, this terrible idea. When your expedition comes out at the end, roll the challenge dice and compare your progress. On a strong hit, you reach your destination or complete your survey. Mark a reward on your Discovery's legacy track per the expedition's rank. So, okay, so we get an entire box.
Understand the true nature or cost of the expedition.
We get an entire box under Discoveries.
An entire box under Discoveries.
So if you have, in my case, I have 1/ in box 2. So I'm going to advance. So you basically hit the arrow on Discoveries.
Wow. Now I have 4 XP.
The thing is, we've had these really good payoff things that we just haven't been able to finish.
Yes.
We have piles of XP waiting if we could just seal the deal.
Yes.
Okay. Any allies who shared this expedition also mark that reward. You did that. Okay. So it does. I thought it had something for a match. My inclination is there's 2 different ways we could go with this. We could make a discovery, or we could give ourselves a progress on. Well, no, that's already maxed out. That wouldn't do any good. We can't progress. Chart a new route to Cobalt Reach
because we have done it.
Because we've maxed it out to 10. That's a different thing to roll. So I'm going to roll that one now, which is actually charting a route. Because the thing is, trying to suss out an actual coherent route using the route that we did to make it like repeatable, that's going to require some reconstruction a little bit. But let's see what we got.
Well, not with my new map. I think it's basically point you at it.
Oh, 7 and 4, so strong hit on that.
Yeah.
Mark a reward on your quest legacy track. This one was dangerous, so we mark 2 ticks on quests. Did you just get a whole bunch of XP?
Yeah.
Because you just got 2 more ticks on quests, and that gives you 2 more, right?
Correct. Yeah. So now I'm up to 6.
All right.
Power.
So power. All right. So we're going to complete charting a route.
I have to get my document here.
We're going to complete getting to Cobalt Reach. I'm going to say that we're going to advance, reconnect to the Iron Sworn of Cobalt Reach, because we're actually here now. Finally.
So should I spend 3 XP to upgrade Cole to an official sidekick?
I could do that too, and it's probably more fair for me to do it.
Sure.
She's been more my thing.
Yeah. Other than last time when you X-carded me.
Well, I didn't X-card you because you didn't X-card it. See, here's the thing, and here's why I'm going to say it should be my deal. I'll tell you why. She's my daughter. That's been locked in. She accepts she's my daughter. What she is to you, big question mark so far. So
True.
I don't think you buy her as a sidekick because she's not locked in yet.
The experience point should be for what has happened, not what might happen.
Well, it's not even. Well, aside from that, it lets the whole thing, whatever's going on with you two, continue to be a floating, random, undetermined, like numeric point.
Right.
It's still a wild card. Whereas with our thing, it's somewhat locked in. That's wild because I've got enough XP now to. Dingo says, "Dad outranks guy who kissed her once." Technically, she kissed him, but.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Gain a specialist. They are part of your crew, but it's tracked as a connection and provides benefits to you and your allies per their role. You withstand damage and score a miss, or if you pay the price, you may suffer the cost by noting the specialist is out of action and out of action. We've been doing this anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Provides no benefit to restore a specialist to do resolve the situation as appropriate to the nature of the injury, trauma, or dispute. Basically, it's just the thing that lets us do what we've been doing.
Right.
Retroactively paying the price for that. Okay. You said you had. Let me look at yours.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's anything that's like repair or related.
When you secure, so here's another thing I could do with the cohort if I wanted to. When you secure an advantage, by gathering together your specialists to strategize or problem solve, you can re-roll one die for every participating specialist that's currently in the discussion.
There you go. That's a huge difference from what we have been doing.
Yeah, that would be a big buy. Under sleuth, when you make a connection with a potential informant, you may, instead of rolling, take an automatic weak hit. Or when you make a move to avoid detection, as you put a person or place under surveillance. I don't think either one of those. I like just vibe. The way the vibe check thing works for me is enough. When you, I've got to do this. When you face danger, soothe the being's distress by creating an empathic bond. Roll plus spirit and take +1 momentum if you get a hit. If they are an ally, you also give them +2 spirit on a hit. I can literally, I've got to take.
Well, I think we should make, for me, I think we should make a custom module, which is like a ship add-on kind of module.
Oh.
I think that would
let me look at, that's a good, okay, wait a second then. Hang on a second.
Because like there's one for like stealth tech and sensor array, so I think this is in the right spirit here.
Yeah, let me look at something though, because I think Dingoes, I saw your question. I'm going to answer it. I can only do one thing at a time because my brain is stupid. So under item compendium, under compendium pack, plundered aisles, assets, vehicle assets. Oh man, vehicle assets.
Oh, there's like a map room.
Yeah, I was just going to look and see if that was anything cool. When you secure an advantage or gather information by studying or preparing your maps before setting off on an expedition, re-roll any dice. On a hit, you may
actually,
also...
this has the ability that I was trying to find somewhere else. When you hearten by working or studying your maps, roll wits instead of heart. That is what I need. That is what I need so bad.
I mean, you could get the map. So you have to buy the first one with the map room. But if you have 6 XP, you could get this and the other 2 points for the hearten thing.
Yes, that is what's going to happen right now.
Okay, so I think this one may be weird because it may not let you put it on your actual character sheet. It may go on the ship. Did it?
Yeah, it worked fine.
Oh, good. I'm going to put it on the ship too.
Okay.
Fall of Icarus, not the name, but map room.
So that cost you 5 XP, right?
That cost you 5 XP, correct. So when you secure an advantage or gather information by studying or preparing your maps before setting off on an expedition, reroll any dice.
Yes, this is what we need.
On any hit, you may also reroll any dice for the first leg of the journey as you undertake the expedition.
Hey. Yes, we need it so bad.
We should have had this before we left. When you hearten by working on, I want to read this because I never thought this was before. When you hearten by working on or studying your maps in isolation, get out of here. I got to talk to the map. Roll wits instead of heart on a hit. Take +1 spirit or +1 momentum. On a match, you uncover a. Now I want to make this clear. On a hit, take +1 spirit or +1 momentum. That's in addition to the hearten move.
Correct. Yeah, it's a bonus on the hearten.
Yeah.
That's why I said I must have this.
On a match, you uncover a previously unnoticed aspect of the world and make a dreadful realization. Envision what you find and mark 2 ticks on your discoveries. Oh, geez, if you get a hit with a match, it's like a discoveries XP fountain. He always says that, but it never really comes.
Well, we've had
That's
2 matches
great.
this time.
What a great find. Love that. I love that came in from
came in from the pirate.
That's kind of crazy. That's exactly what you needed for that thing too.
It is. It was just like, so perfect.
Okay. Tim is now on the Cobalt Reach. All right, we're finally not seeing. The thing is, we're still seeing the shifting clouds in the background, which makes me think.
Yeah. What does it make you think?
It just makes me think that there's still weird shit in the background.
Yeah.
Okay, so we rolled, get to Cobalt Reach, we got the Cobalt Reach, Planet Oracles, we got Painted World, we got a planet. So the first thing I did was I rolled in like a space encounter in the Outlands. But then I thought, wait a second, if we're jumping, so it's a rogue asteroid if we're in the Outlands, but we're in Terminus if we jump to Cobalt Reach. Cobalt Reach is now into the more highly populated core worlds, right? So the tables all change, right? So I rolled instead on the terminus thing, and I got a planet. I got tainted world. I got overrun with life, corrosive atmosphere, sludge-filled river networks. Now, what I am seeing from this, just at a glance,
So we've gone from life in the Mayan jungle full of artifacts of ancient civilizations to the Cahoga River on fire in the 1970s.
Deep history cut. Like, yeah, the idea that this is like some cybernetic, like it's a cyberpunk, like completely industrialized, overpopulated planet where what isn't under asphalt is not good. I think so. Let me see if I can. I just want to need a tile control. We want this to be. Oh, we need a name for this thing. Can you find the oracle for the planet names and give me a name for a toxic planet? Are you picking one or rolling one?
Oh, I'm making a decision.
Okay. I accept that. Realizations Trading.
Yes. It's a company planet.
So when we scan for like some sort of transmitter, some sort of what I'm looking for,
beacon or whatever,
like some sort of beacon, it's not giving us a planet name, it's giving us a corporate name instead of the planet name.
Correct. Yes.
Or we have to dig down.
The corporation may be long defunct and the whole place may be a wreckage, but it was essentially a corporate outpost called Realizations Trading. And there's a debris field around it that's full of mineral-laden asteroids, which is what this place was doing.
Oh, lordy. Okay. We're over the toxic sludge river, overrun industrial nightmare.
Yeah,
and when we
mineral asteroids.
So when we start next time, we get to generate the actual sector, which we didn't do before. Because there's that whole data exchange thing, as we can start to pick up packets and stuff and get some idea of what's going on here. So this one's a lock. We just have to, we definitely have this guy, and we get to see where the hell we are with all of this. What have we just stepped in? And also possibly like we definitely do this and then we figure out what we're doing next, because are we continuing with these guys or in this nonsense, or do we switch to something else? Or
it's a good question.
There is an argument, given that we've created ourselves a cyberpunk type planet. There is a sci-fi game out there called The Veil.
Okay.
That is the Veil is essentially like the internet. But it's so all encompassing that it basically functions as like an alternate reality projection over everything. So you're interacting with it as much as you are the real world, because it overlays everything.
Postmodernism is, at its heart, a movement which rejects the notion of universal truth. That is a line from The Veil, apparently. Reading this.
Or a bunch of other stuff. Or we keep doing these guys and deal with the culture shock of what we are. And
I'm torn only because we finally got XP and advanced so we could do stuff. Yeah. But it doesn't that can also be its own reward. I mean, there's been plenty of campaigns where I'm like, all right, I'm level 10, done.
I said this before, like one of the problems that we had with the game with the way we set it up is that we weren't running into the people that tend to require that you need to be able to do all the new quests and do the rinky dink ones, like the little quickies that only take like a little bit, relatively small amount of work. And as a result, then we should have probably gotten some XP sooner. But then we had that huge setback to put us back into the thing. Yeah. And then when it all finally tumbled, holy shit, now we're all caught up to kind of where we meant to be in the first place.
So I'm also thinking it would be super interesting to have, this, hollowed out corporate shell planet that is just full of basically all of the former employees of this place that were abandoned by the corporation when they left.
Yes.
And, they were not offered a ride off unless they could pay for one. And of course, most of them could not. And so this place has got its own very similar background to us, but is in the Cobalt Reef. And
Hear me out.
Eventual interactions betwixt them.
Rather than switching to another RPG, we switch to a tabletop solution, and we just do an entire Necromunda.
Sure. There you go.
We've jumped into Warhammer 40K. Fucking run. Well, thank you, sir. That was very fruitful and also really
Yeah, a lot of
interesting in
meta
terms
this
of
time, but I think that was good because we had a lot of stuff to
we had a
catch
lot
up
of
on
big
it.
a lot of big questions there, and we have a better idea. I'm really curious to see if we were the first ones to get over here too. And if
Then
no, what the hell happened with them? And if yes, what have the circle been up to at this terrible place? Or did they even come here? They could have come someplace else.
yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, they didn't have to come out here. They could have come out in a
Well, if
different
they'd come
part of
over
the
the other,
world.
almost certainly we didn't come into the same place in the system because they had a different route, like
Yeah.
an actual secure route out, relatively secure. So that's so many questions. I have things to ponder now. I'm going to go take some more Advil, though. So
Okay. Please do. I hope you can get some sleep.
so much pain.